Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today we've got a Kevin Durant build. So make sure he's a small forward and we'll move on to the body settings. So for KD, he's definitely higher than 6'10", which is the height we're going to go with. But that's what he's listed at, so that's what we're going to stick to. In terms of the weight, he's definitely not carrying much weight on his frame. So we're going to push it all the way down to the minimum, which is 200 pounds, just to increase some speed and other things. And then for wingspan, he does have really long arms and you can go to 7'8". So what I've done instead is I've just dropped it to 7'4". So you'll still have pretty long arms and decent shooting as well. In terms of the body shape, I just thought slight would be the best for Kevin Durant. We'll move on to the attributes. So one thing I will say about Kevin Durant is he's very good all over the court scoring wise. It's pretty difficult to create a real lifelike Kevin Durant build on the game because he's really good at every method of scoring. Pull-ups, threes, mid-range, post, driving to the rim, finishing over contact, step backs, things like that. So it is quite difficult, but I think I've done the best that I can. In terms of close shot, we are going to push that to 73 because of course he plays on the paint a lot, in the post as well. You can get those, drop steps on smaller defenders. Although he does favour the post fade. In terms of driving layup, we're going to push that to 82. So at 82, you just get the animations at 80 and then the extra badge point at 82. Now for driving dunk, he's not known as a real posterizer, but he definitely got some big dunks in his career. He can definitely rise up over small centers with those long arms and the 7 foot height. So we're going to push driving dunk to 84 to get those pro contact dunks off 1 and 2. Now if you wanted to, you can tweak the build a bit to get it to 85 to get the silver posterizer, but I just found that the stats I wanted didn't allow me to do that, but of course you can tweak the build if you want. Now for standing dunk, we are going to push that to 70 because you are 6'10", it would be handy to have standing dunk, and it does unlock a lot of animations at 70. In terms of post control, we're going to push that to 72 because of course he's a great post player. I wanted those badges at least silver. And at 72, you just get the back down punisher there, silver. Now for shooting, he's a 49.6% shooter from the field and a 38.4% shooter from 3-point line, along with an 88.4% free throw percentage for his career. He's a member of the 50-40-90 club in 2013, I believe, so he's a fantastic shooter, and that's why I didn't want to push the wingspan too high because it would have hurt shooting. But in saying that, we are going to push mid-range shot to 87, which is the max, and then 3-point shot to 86 as well, which is the max. So you'll have the 26 shooting badges here. Everything in tier 1 will be Hall of Fame. So some great things for KD would probably shot creator, space creator, midi magician, amped, clutch shooter, comeback kid, volume scorer, pretty much all of them. You could say Claymore as well. He's great at spotting up, slippery off ball. And then of course you've got some gold badges and silver ones in tier 2 and tier 3 that you can definitely use. In terms of free throw, like I said, he was an 88.5% free throw shooter. Would have loved to have got it that high, but I just pushed it to 82. That's all I had left. And I still think 82 is a pretty good rating for 2K. Now for playmaking, he's definitely not known for his playmaking ability, particularly in the first, sort of 3/4 of his career. Before he came to Brooklyn, he was known more as just an elite scorer, but I think his time at Golden State definitely taught him how to be a better playmaker, and he's really become a good facilitator at Brooklyn. He averages over 6 assists a game at Brooklyn pretty much, which is fairly decent for someone who takes as many shots as Kevin Durant does. So what we're going to do is we're going to push pass accuracy to 70. I still feel like that's a decent rating for 2K. Also, we don't have bullet passes, so your pass accuracy is related to your pass speed. But if you do want to bump this a bit higher, if you're worried about that, definitely find a way to do that. But just for this build at the moment, just 70 will be fine. In terms of ball handle, we are going to push that to 80. Of course, there are a lot of animations that don't go above 6'9", and being 6'10", you do lose out on a lot of them. So I wanted to get it high so that you could get those animations that require an 80 ball handle that you can get at 6'10", because I didn't want you to miss out on that. And in terms of speed with ball, we're going to push that to 72. So at 72, we just get the extra badge point. Of course, 72 is almost max. It's only the one below. In terms of defense, he's not known as an elite defender. I'd say he's a very good defender, particularly now. But he's not known as, a really great two-way player. Like, he's a very good scorer and his defense is very solid. But I wouldn't say he's like a Giannis who's, extremely good offensively and defensively. But in saying that, we're going to push interior defense to 63 because you are 6'10". You can protect the rim a bit, on the weak side, coming for blocks and things like that. So I did want a bit of that. Now for perimeter defense, we're going to push that to 79. So at 79, you just get the Challenger badge silver, and I think that's important because you don't get clamps at 6'10". It's got a cap of 6'9", and having Challenger silver may just help contest shots in the perimeter against those other, if you're playing small forward against a shooting guard, let's say, you'll probably need that to contest those outside shots. In terms of steal, we're going to push that to 78. So at 78, you just get Interceptor Silver, which I think will be pretty handy, particularly with the 7'4" wingspan on a 5v5 as well in the Pro-Am and Rec Center. Now in terms of block, he does average a block a game, so I wanted to get this pretty high, or reasonably high. And at 71, you just get the extra badge point, and also, you got things like Anchor there, bronze that you can use. Now for rebounding, he is a 7 rebound a game for his career player. So what we're going to do is push offensive rebound to 50, and then we're going to push defensive rebound to 85. So at 85, you just get that silver rebound chaser, which I think will come in handy. Being 6'10", if you do play a lot of 5v5, you probably play a lot of power forward, and that can help for boards. And then on the park, if you're playing with 2 other guards, which you could do with this build, you'll be playing as the big man, so you probably need a high rebound to snag those defensive rebounds. In terms of your physicals, he's not lightning fast, so I don't think it's too big of an issue to drop speed a little bit. So I've pushed speed to 76. You can go to 81, but I didn't think it was too much of a hit to drop it to 76. It's only 5 points. And then acceleration, we're going to put it 76 as well, which is a few below the max also. And in terms of strength, like I said, he's not carrying a heap of weight, but I'd say he's pretty strong. He gets his shots up with no fuss against really tight defense, so I'd say he's pretty strong anyway. So in terms of strength, we are going to push that to 74. So that's just to unlock the bronze bully that you can see up there. So that could come in handy on drives to the rim. In terms of vert, we do need a 75 vert for those contact dunks, so make sure the vertical's 75. And then we're just going to chuck the rest on stamina for 90 stamina, and that's the build. So in total, we have 19 finishing, 26 shooting, 16 playmaking, and 17 defensive badges, for a total of 78 badges on this 6'10" pure shot creator with pretty decent defense and playmaking type of build. It's a 3-level scorer, got post moves, got contact dunks, pretty elite shooting, can handle the ball and play really solid defense with decent physicals as well. So I think it's a very versatile build. A lot of badges to use as well across all 4 categories. So you'll be able to find something that really works for you. We'll take a look at the takeovers. So I just chose pull-up precision because, he's a shot creator at his core, and also negative impact because I think, with those long arms and the long release, the high release point, it's really hard to stop his shot. So those are the 2 I went with. And as you can see, you've got shades of Hito Turkoglu, Kevin Durant, and Jason Tatum. So Kevin Durant's there if you're into that. I will take a look at the badges. So for Kevin Durant, the tier 1 badges in finishing I would look at are definitely the post ones, back down punisher, drop stepper, and then, the driving ones, slithery, acrobat. You don't really need giant slayer unless someone's 7'3", it won't come into play. Fearless finish is great in tier 2, limitless takeoff. And then for tier 1, posterizer could be great to have a core as it costs the most. And then bully might be good as well. And then, masher could be also pretty good, improves a player's ability to finish well around the rim. If you're playing small forward at 6'10", you're likely to come up against guards that are 6'5", and you can really use this badge to its full advantage. So those would be the badges I would look at for Kevin Durant. In terms of shooting, the tier 1 badges I would look at, definitely Amped, Mini Magician, Space Creator, Volume Shooter, Comeback Kid, Clutch Shooter. All those 6 in particular are definitely representative of Kevin Durant. Claymore, he can definitely spot up. He's a very, very good shooter in all facets. Agent 3, you can just pull up from the 3 no matter what. Green Machine, definitely. Guard up's definitely a badge that you can use. Deadeye, of course, you can definitely call that. Limitless Range, you can definitely spot up from way out, catch and shoot. There's so many badges to choose from Kevin Durant, you're bound to find something that really works for you. You probably won't want all of these badges, but for Kevin Durant, these would be the ones I would look at. Even Blinders as well would be a great one. In terms of playmaking, like I said, he's not a great, passer or playmaker, but he can definitely hit people who are open. But in terms of him as a player, he's definitely more of a shot creator. So what we're going to do is just, clamp breaker, handles for days, killer combos, quick first step, of course. You may want something like, you may want to upgrade that just to get these points, a bit higher. Break starter could be good because you will be playing possibly as a big man. And then for tier 3, things like Unpluckable could be great. You could core that. Get another silver badge, playing in the post a lot. You could have post playmaker, get Dimer. He does average 6 assists at Brooklyn pretty much, so I think Dimer could be a good badge for Kevin Durant. So those would be the ones I would look at. Even Vice Grip for getting those boards, that could be a really handy badge to have for bigs. Now in terms of defense, the tier 1 badges I would look at, definitely things like Interceptor. He's not known as a really physical defender. He's just a very, very long and very athletic. Challenger with those long arms could be great. Chase down artist, of course, the long arms again. Pick Dodger could be good. You can get that silver, which I think is pretty decent. And then of course, in your tier 3, you can equip things like Rebound Chaser Silver. He does average 7 boards a game, so that would be a great one. And you still got 6 points left to find. Pogo Stick, you might want silver. If you're not going to be protecting the rim a lot, Pogo Stick could be great to have just because it's just a fantastic badge in a lot of different facets other than rebounding and defense. All in all, that's the build. I hope you've enjoyed the video and I hope you have a really great day.